I really want to make some Heelys. Two big issues. I don't want to drill into my shoes, and I don't have any wheels. So let's deal with that second one. I need some rolly circles. Perfect. Alright. Let's get 4 of these. And the instructions say bake at 350 for 20 minutes. Here we go. Alright, let's go make the frame for my shoes. Aha. Wonderful. Aha. Alright, these look great. Yeah, now that these are ready, I also got some threaded rod and some lock nuts, so this makes a workable prototype. Let's go test it out. But first, let's fix this. Let's go. Goes right there, and oh man, this will definitely need some practice. But that is workable. I'm excited. That was fun, but it's hard to walk in them, so let's finish the design for the platform and the way to attach it to my boot. So the CAD is basically done, and I printed a test slice here, about 1 millimeter thick. It allows me to check to make sure this fits, as well as this fits. This way. So that looks pretty good. Let's go print the whole thing. So here's the full print, and let's see if the axle fits. That's pretty good. That's great. But you notice the wheel doesn't slide very well, so I printed another one. In the CAD, I did have these spacers here, but I never extruded them before I sliced the print. So let's do this one instead. That looks good too, and it gives it place to spin. Here's the second wheel, and this is what it will look like together. It does fit my shoe. So, one moment while I thread on a lock nut down this whole length because I don't have a rotary cutting tool yet. Alright, we got 2 assembled heel wheels right here. And again, I am going to trim this. I do know somebody with a rotary cutting tool. I just don't have one. So this should work because it's all assembled, and these will might get caught on something and I might find myself on the floor. But anyway, the last thing that I have is some hook and loop strap. So I made some channels on the inside where this fits through, and this will hold it to my shoe so I can actually lift up my feet. So let's get this assembled and go for a test. Alright, it is raining, so I'm not going to go on the road, but I do have a porch where I can go on the cement. Not bad. This is exactly as hard as I expected it to be, but it's working pretty good. Welcome to the Steto News Network. Breaking news, man falls while testing homemade wheel heels. Here's Steto with the story. Thanks, Steto Fire. I'm here on location where for weeks, Mr. Fire had been toiling to create the perfect set of wheels to custom fit his boots. However, on his first road test, he took a tumble that the prototypes simply couldn't handle. That's right, they broke into pieces. Eyewitnesses say he should have carried less bags and left his hands open for stability. Back to you, Steto Fire. Thanks, Steto. The man has an abrasion on his knee but is otherwise uninjured. It sounds like he plans to continue the project and already has some further ideas. Thank you for watching the Steto News Network. I'm Steto. Signing off. And it's almost healed. So yeah, I fell and these broke along the layer lines because the straps were connected to my foot, but the rest was connected to the axle. And I'm pretty sure part of the issue was the axle is still really long, and so when my foot twisted, it got a disconnect and it pulled them apart here. So I had an idea to use the straps and put them around the axle, but instead I kept the same design and just printed in TPU. This is a flexible filament. This one is Matterhacker's translucent blue, so it looks really cool. And here, the layer adhesion is pretty good, so the strap shouldn't fall apart the same way. So let's put that on the axle now. That is definitely all of the work that I'm going to do for this video. I have been working on this for a couple of months because this video is way different than anything that I've ever made. It just took more time than I expected. So these I have been using for that amount of time, multiple weeks, and I have found them very successful. They stay on my feet. The method of attachment I've used is great. And the biggest thing that I've noticed that I would want to change next is you can see the threaded rod is actually bent. That's just because it wasn't meant to take this amount of weight, and with this specific shear and bend forces, I guess. So the first change that I would make in a version 2 is a solid core with threaded ends. I still do want to use the bolts that I have right here, but a solid core will help with the strength. Something about repeated stress causing deformation. It's not like they're in college. But for future projects, I think I might change these out for laces, just because they would be easier to attach. The Velcro strap that I have right here isn't exactly strong, and I don't want these coming off my feet while I'm using them. So laces might be another solution to that. Another thing that I want to experiment with is a fully 3D printed wheel. I would line this with TPU, and this one I branded. It's a herringbone planetary gearbox. And I think that would be a really cool experiment to try to actually make a wheel heels set that has the 3D printed wheels to go on your heels. So subscribe to see that one. I do want to thank my Patreon supporters because without them, what? We don't have any Patreon supporters. Okay, I want to thank the YouTube members. We don't have any YouTube members either. I want to thank you for watching. That's where I'll leave that. If you want to support the channel in any way, feel free to follow the links in the description. And other than that, I'll see you next time. Kevin, did you not send out the Patreon email? I thought there were people waiting for it. Thanks, Stedofire. Thank you. Thank you.